Going to install this rear main seal saver. I want to actually install it.
If you screw it up, we can try again.
All right, cool.
Hold on, you're stretching.
Don't do what I did. Let's go ahead and talk about Ford Takeover. Hello and welcome to Gearhead 704. I'm Matt, and today we are actually finishing up something we started in another video. In a recent video, I was changing out the rear main seal in my SSP engine, and I was unable to finish because of the repair sleeve. Well, today we're going to finish that up. Adam from Kannapolis Engine has the correct repair sleeve, so he's going to bring it over here, which is awesome. Also, we're going to explain to you guys why the sleeve that we got did not fit, because it does fit a stock 302. We're going to explain all that, and once we do that, come back after, because I do have an update about Ford Takeover. I'm planning to put this video up before Ford Takeover, so come back at the end after we finish the whole repair and install, and I'll tell you more about that. If you remember from a little while back, we were going to install this rear main seal saver, and it wouldn't fit, right? It was basically very loose. It's supposed to be a press fit. Am I even doing this the right way? Yeah, I am. So look at this one. Yeah, we're gonna have to knock that on. So what happened? Well, Adam from Kannapolis Engines came in clutch. He actually has one of these. Now he's got another one in the car as well. We're gonna see if this one works. We're gonna go ahead and try it right now, try to install it. And I'm gonna have Matt, who you guys might know because he's been on here like 1 billion times. I'm gonna have him explain why. I know it has to do with Ford remanufacturing this block, which I've shown that before. This stamp is so cool. Where is it, where is it? Yeah, this is a Ford reman, so you guys can see that there. But yeah, so Matt, this was a little different than you ran into before from a stock crank.
Correct, yeah. I'm used to, like, you know, putting the new seal saver on there. Usually on the stock stuff, rear main seal surface here on the end of the crank can be, you know, kind of grooved or messed up. So what I always do, like I explained before, is I always put a new one of these on there and get them from the parts store, slap them on, and never had a problem with them. Well, with yours, we noticed that the ones that I was getting that I've always used was too big. Yeah. So I know a lot about the fox bodies. If I don't know, I usually know who I can find the information out from. So I gave Adam a call over at Kannapolis Engine, and he had educated me that sometimes whenever the crankshafts are remanned, they actually machine the surface smaller, and that's why our correct, or the OEM style seal saver was too big, right? Because this was machined down.
So this is actually smaller than the original stock.
A couple thousand smaller, right? Because they did that to machine it. But then to bring it back to the original diameter, so the seal works properly, they have a seal saver that's actually meant to bring it back to the OEM. Okay, so it's got a little bit more material that way, thicker, right? Yeah. So if we were to put them side by side, this one, pretty firm, whereas the other one's really flimsy. So this is definitely a couple. I noticed that one was a little tougher when I was holding it. Yeah. Right. Okay. The good thing is like I can still use my tool from Felpro that I used to install the stock ones. It still fits, so we're going to work there. Something else I learned from Adam is that you want the heat transfer to work properly between the two pieces of metal. Even though it's a press fit and it's very tight, you do still end up with a very fraction of a thousandth, maybe a millionth of an inch between the two metals. So he says you want, for good heat transfer, you want to use a little bit of blue lock, or a little bit of Loctite. He had mentioned red or blue, green. Doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, he had mentioned green, but all I have is red or blue. I didn't even know there was a green. Blue. Okay. Yeah. So he said just wet it. Just
is there a Carolina blue Loctite?
We can find out. Anyway, squirt this on your shirt. No, this is the blue one right here.
Well, yeah, I think that's Duke blue. I think it's like gonna be.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be.
All right. I don't know. Don't mess up my shirt, man. I want to actually install it.
Okay, yeah, we got two, so if you screw it up, we can try again.
All right, cool.
Got a groove there. This fits into that groove. Then you're going to put it over the crankshaft. And the key here is you want to hit it dead center. You don't want it to walk or wobble. Right. Because whenever you do that, you're actually stretching the metal, and it can potentially make it come loose. Okay. Because then you've actually increased the diameter by a couple thousandths, and we don't want that. So yeah, whenever you do it, you're just going to hit it. You're going to get it kind of square, and then you're just going to hit it dead center. And you're not a big tap. You're just going to do small taps. And if you're hitting it light and it's not moving, then you hit it a little bit more. But you want to hit it just enough to get it moved in. Okay. Once you got it started pretty well, then give it a couple of good whacks. Like after it's half installed, then go ahead and give it a couple of decent whacks to kind of seating it.
All right, so I'm going to give that a try, and we're going to switch you guys over to this camera.
Because the more you go on, the more it's going to take to seat it. Hold on. You're stretching. You see how it's going on cocked now? So we'll try getting it on. The metal rippled.
Oh yeah, I feel it.
It rippled when it stretched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why installation tools and getting that thing square is so important, especially on something that thin. Because when it went in cocked, it stretched the metal because now because it cocked, it pushed it out.
Yeah, you can feel how smooth it is over here. And as soon as I hit that, oh yeah, wow, it's like a warble.
Yeah, and that's gonna leak.
All right, guys. Well, I got it on, but unfortunately, it was not completely smooth. So I kind of messed up when I was installing it, and I bent the metal here a little bit. And if I run my finger around, it feels smooth, smooth, smooth. And I get right to here, and it feels bumpy. A little bit of bump right in there. So it's hard to see, but it's not on properly. So a newbie apparently cannot do it his first time, Matt. Who knew that?
Hey, but it's always worth a shot. How are you going to learn if you don't make a mistake?
Yeah. So we have one other one here, and I waited so long for this. So I'm not going to try the other one. I'm going to let Matt do it just so I don't break it again. But when I pull Tar Heel Fox's motor out, I am going to try it again there. Now, obviously, that one will be a little bit different. We don't think that that's a reman crank, but I gave it a shot, guys. Sometimes this happens.
And let's cover what caused the ripple. So what happened when you were putting it on, you weren't hitting the hammer perfectly dead center. So what happened, it caused the collar to cock.
I got this side down before I got this side.
This side went all the way down, and this side was still out. So when you do that, you are now no longer lined up, and it actually stretched the metal. And that's why we're feeling that ripple, because the metal had stretched, and now we tried to, force it back straight, and that's what created the ripple.
Yep. So when you're putting these on, guys, don't do what I did. You need to go completely down straight and not basically walk it on, which is, what I did. So
and don't go crazy hammering it. You want to hit it just hard enough to get it moving. Not much more than that. And then after you got it over halfway on and you know it's square, then you can hit it a little harder to sit it. But you have to be very, very patient. Just careful with it when you're doing it for the first time. So let me go ahead. More patient and more careful than I did. I don't mind showing you this though, guys, because this is real. So I don't know, Matt. I think we should let it go like this. Just like that? Let me ask Adam. Yeah, we can run it like that, right? He just knocked part of the middle. Not so. He said not so much. All right, so I had to pull Matt in there, but he did come through. He did not do this to it. Well, actually he did. He took it off. But what I mean is he did not mess up the seal installing it like I did. He got it in, and it is nice and smooth, guys. No lumps or bumps. Again, a big shout out to Adam at Kannapolis Engines for bringing that over, the right one to fit. Really appreciate it. If you guys are local in the area and you need some engine work done, definitely check him out. I'm gonna have him eventually rebuild Tar Heel Fox's motor. I think he does a great job. Anyway, right now while we're here, I might as well go ahead and finish this off. So I'm gonna work on installing the rear main seal. All right, it's time to actually install the rear main seal now. So I do wanna cover a couple things. This is very similar to when we installed the timing chain cover. Also had a seal on that side. So right here's my seal. Now the thing I want to point out, in the middle there is a spring. So on the spring right there, you want to put dielectric grease in there. It's going to help the spring not to come apart as we're installing it. Also, I'm going to put some dielectric grease here in the middle where my thumb is going. That's to help prevent a dry start. We do not want a situation where there is no lubrication right there. So that's why we're doing that. And then we'll put some gasket maker right here on the outer edge. So the things I'm going to do, then I'm going to walk it on. Not, push it down in there, but actually get it around the surface correctly. I'm actually going to try to kind of do it in an angle. I'm trying to show you guys, a little hard when I'm holding the camera right here, but kind of get this. You don't want to push it in, you want to push down. There we go. So that's what I'm going to do with that, and then knock it on. Now I am going to use the same tool that was used when Matt installed this seal saver here, using the same exact tool to put in the rear main seal. I am going to time lapse that, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, but I just want to cover those highlights with you guys real quick. So let's go ahead. Let's see if I can get this one on without breaking it. I don't know. If I break it, I'll buy another one, but let's try.
All right, so I figured I'd hang out in Matt's 85 for the end of this. Anyway, big thanks to Adam again. He was really very helpful in bringing that over. I do plan on, like I said, sending Tar Heel Fox motor over there to have it rebuilt. And of course, a good thing Matt got the seal on there because we only had 2. So I did try it the first time, you know, but since I had the expert right there, I'll let him install that. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about Ford Takeover. And actually, this really isn't comfortable, so I'm gonna move real quick. But yeah, let's talk about Ford Takeover. So I had all intentions of going to Ford Takeover. It's an awesome event. Last year when I went there, it was probably the best time I ever had before at an event. It was a lot of fun, obviously really helpful personally for my YouTube channel. I got shout outs from Brutal and Foxcast Media, gotten to meet Speed Addict 731, and of course ran into Jeremy Pony 1992 out there, and just all kinds of people out there, and it was a really awesome time. Unfortunately, as you can already probably tell, I'm not gonna be able to make it this year. And why is that? Well, the main reason, guys, is the SSP is not ready. They're gonna have drag racing out there. They're gonna have all kinds of stuff, car events, and they're gonna have a lot of stuff with the cars. And honestly, I wanna have a car at the event. So I could come, but that would be without the car, which to me doesn't really make a ton of sense. It's taken way, way, way longer than I anticipated to get this car going. I mean, I think like several videos back, people are like, when are you gonna start the engine in the car? And I just, as I'm filming this today, I went ahead and pulled the dash out. That's coming in a later video, you'll see that. Pulled the dash out because I've got to do a lot of other things on this car. I'm basically completely rebuilding the car just about. Yeah, the car's not gonna be ready. I'm not gonna have the car, and I still wanna make it to Mustang Week. But if you are going, I'm really sorry that I'm not gonna be able to meet you there. I did wanna meet some of my subscribers there, and I know you probably, some of you at least wanna hang out with me. So definitely say hi to Foxcast Media and Speed Addict 731 for me. They're the guys that are mainly putting on the event, and I know it's gonna be an awesome event, an awesome time. Guys, I'm really sorry I can't make it. Thank you so much for the invite. Hopefully I can make it next year when I actually have a car running and working. So, I mean, if you're gonna make it, definitely say hi to those guys. And of course, there's a lot of YouTubers out there, like I already mentioned, that I met last year. So guys, I'm really sorry I'm not gonna be able to make it at this time. But I know that all of you are gonna have an awesome time. And also, Speed Addict 731 is going to race Jeremy Pony 1992. They're gonna race their 2 Coyote cars, which are similar. One's an auto, one is a manual. And I want to find out who won. So if you guys are there, definitely you should check that race out. I think that's the big race of the event, at least as far as I know. There might be other races, of course. My money's on Jeremy, Pony 1992. That's who I've got winning this thing, but it wouldn't surprise me if Ken won. They're both really good drag racing drivers, and a lot of people don't know Pony does have a lot of seat time in other cars. It's not like me, where, you know, I've never drag raced before. That's not the case with Pony. So I'm just kind of wandering around here, but yeah, I'm really sorry to those of you that wanted to see me there. I hope to make it up at some day in the future. It's just not gonna work out with the car not being ready, so I hope you guys understand. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button. It really helps me out a lot. If you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe, because we got a ton of more SSP content coming. And that's pretty much it. We will see you guys next time here on Gearhead 704.